Hi, welcome back. Long time no see. Hold on a second. So we're going to be doing a little book haul, and it's so strange that I found these books on Poshmark. If y'all know what Poshmark is, it's where you can sell your own things, vintage things, housewares, clothes, or new things. And I was looking in the section for books because I like to buy old books, right? Like vintage books. So I found like this bundle of vintage books and I bought them. And they were coded by color. So like I got a stack. I haven't even opened them yet. They came in like this little bag and then tied up in a rope. I thought that was kind of cool, but I didn't look at the titles or anything of these books. And when I got the books and I looked at the titles, they're all coded. This was definitely an occult ritual sale. So how you can tell that something is, an occult ritual sale is by decoding, like, especially if it's books in a bundle and, you don't know the titles, they just say some blue books or whatnot. Definitely decoding these for you guys. So the first title is The Moon is Down. The second title is Added Upon, like adding upon, like sprinkle, like giving them, something. The moon is down means, to bring the moon back, to bring back down to earth, to descend. The next title is Life Begins at 40, 4D, fourth dimensional beings. And I listed all these in the description bar with the authors if y'all wanted to go find them. And the fourth one is Gods, Graves, and Scholars. So very interesting. And they're blue. So this was definitely a coded sale. And that's so cool that I bought it and didn't even realize it. It's like I was just drawn to this stack of books for some reason on Poshmark. And I don't really buy books on Poshmark. I just saw them and I know that I wanted them. I don't know. It's just weird stuff that I don't even realize that I do sometimes. And so I'm going to open them. I'm going to open them and see what's in there. Okay, so the first one I'm going to look at is The Moon is Down. This is by John Steinback. It's really old. You can see how old it is. I don't know how old it is, but we're going to see. John Steinback. I probably spelled his last name wrong. I'll fix it in the comments. So this is the book, a novel. 1942. Okay. First published in March 1942. And it's March now. Isn't that strange? Okay, so I already know this is coded. So I'm going to put that one to the side. Next book, Added Upon by Neffy Anderson. Dang, this book old. Somebody done signed it. 1948. Love Grandma and Grandpa. I'll read this part. It says, what in me is dark? Illumine what is low, raise and support. That to height of this great argument, I may assert eternal providence and justify the ways of God to men. And then this is Milton. So, yep, these books are definitely coded. So I'm going to have fun reading these. Some of these are novels, so I'm not used to reading too many novels. I'm more of just knowledge type of books, but I like decoding stuff too. So Life Begins at 40 by Walter Pitkin. Interesting. They've passed this book down from generation to generation, or they've read it. Like all their family members read the book. And I think that they're putting this in there to kind of like, body, because there's like flowers, lilies, right? So they're trying like when they pass this book on or when they sell the book, you get their energies, So like if you don't want to be like involved in anything like this, be very careful what you purchase online. But for me, it's okay because I know what it is and what is going on and what not. So this one is Life Begins at 40, aka 4D Life. Fools. The names of the chapters are funny. We enter envying. Youth in the red. Fools die young. Learning after 40. Play after 40. Busy leisure. Does woman's life begin at 40? The new world. The new division of labor. Parents should end at 40. Finis. We exit envying. The reader writes. Okay, so definitely coded. Life begins at 40. Told y'all 40 meant 40. All right. Sometimes I just know. It just clicks. I don't know. Okay, so God, Graves, and Scholars. If any of you guys have ever read any of these books, please comment and let me know. Look at the artwork on the front of the book. It is someone riding a lion and fighting another lion or a jackal or something. No, this is a horse. He's riding a horse and trying to fight a lion. Okay, that's what's on there. And it looks like some little kid got a hold to it. And I think originally this book was 50 cents. Like probably in a garage sale or something. God's Graves and Scholars. I'm sure this is the thickest one, so it's probably going to be the best. The Book of Statues. Part 1. Okay, I'm going to read some of the titles in here. It goes into like the Queen of Naples, the Birth of Science, Merchant Digs for Trojan Gold, Mask of Argamon. It goes into like Greek history and then pharaohs, Napoleon. So it's just like God's Graves and Scholars. I guess it's like more of a book about this is Robbers in the Valley of the Kings, and has like some Egyptian stuff in here. So this will be good, right? And I don't think I paid a lot for these books at all. I think I might have paid less than literally $10 for all of these. And these are old. And you know what? They don't put as much information in the newer books these days, like the hidden information, because people are more aware now and there's more ways to research and get the truth. So they're probably more interesting like tidbits in some of these. They have like ancient Mayan stuff. So if you're like a history buff, this book is probably definitely going to be something that you want. It's by C.W. Ceram. And I don't know when this was written, but let me look. It looks very old. So published 1952. So this is old. Okay. Now that I've received some energies, Thank you, Poshmark, and whoever sold that. I'm gonna go look around on their store and see what else they got over there. Because then you have your own little individual stores on Poshmark, which is another way that if you were thinking about starting a small business, Poshmark is definitely the way to go. And you can sell stuff you find at a garage sale, stuff you find, at an estate sale, Goodwill, whatever. Like, I just bought a stack of blue books and they got paid. So, and also if you all are interested in how to start a business, getting money to start a business or ideas and whatnot, there is going to be a workshop going on March 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I did link it in the description bar below. If you saw my video on my other channel last night where I had on Billy Carson and Dawn Dickson, you would have, found out about that workshop coming up. So the title of that video on my other channel is, how to get money for your business and mingle with millionaires, because it's also a way to network with, wealthier people or people that are in business and that want to help you out or, invest with you and things like that. There's going to be a lot of, investors and A-list celebrities in the, comments also attending the workshop. And I'm going to be in the comments this time because like last time, I didn't check my other email, which is where my link was sent. Because I have two emails, one I give to like all the stores so that I don't get junk email, and that's where it was sent. But yeah, I will be in there this time networking because I'm trying to do some things in 2021. Okay. The link for the workshop, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the description. Well, it's in the description. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat, I should say. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat and y'all can go check it out right now. And also, after the actual live course, the price will go up and it probably will be available, maybe a week or two after it's, gone live as a workshop. So you want to get it before the price goes up. And like I said, if you want a sneak peek of the workshop, my video on SheRaSeven, the latest video that I put out, is going to be a little sneak preview. Except I won't be on the screen. I'll be in the comments networking with you guys. Okay. So y'all go ahead and get that over. Sprinkle. I'll see if I can post it here as well. So I try to post it twice. I posted it on here on my streaming and then also in the chat there. And I'll try to post it every few minutes. Okay. How to clear energy of old books. You can sage them. You can like put a crystal on them. Things like that. Someone says Palo Santo. Yeah, cryptonomics. Yeah. So any way you like to cleanse things, you can do that. I like to keep the energies because, like, for me, I like to see what they're about. Like getting something with energy on it is kind of like getting a whole nother story with it. It's like, well, let me see what you're about. And then if I don't like it, I can get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? So what if it's a good energy? What if it's something that I like? What if it's something that's going to better me? That's how I look at stuff. I never see anything good or bad or whatever. I'm just like, let me see what it is first. What is it? So, do I believe in reality shifting? Of course I do. Reality shifts every time you have a thought. Thank you. Thank you. Someone says I look pretty today. I appreciate that. Right. Yes, you can sage the books. Yes. I like to keep it and see what they're about. I don't know why. That's just me, what I do. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. I like the energies because it's even if it's a bad energy, then yeah, I'll know eventually, and then I'll get rid of it. But if it's something that's beneficial or, not harmful, I don't mind. How long does Murder of Reality take to ship from the UK? Well, it only took about a week for me, and I got the other book, which is what I'm currently reading, which was I have that one too, but I ordered his other book, the holographic culture, and this one is really good as well. This goes into the Illuminati, the different levels, the hidden stuff, what people have been doing. They have little charts in there. Okay, I did link this one below in the description bar. So this is really taught me a lot. I'm not even done with this. I'm about like, where they have pictures too. So I'm about, well, I skip around. I use it more of a reference, but I think I'm about on, because I really take the notes. Like, I'm right here. I'm really taking notes. Like, I will take a whole notebook and just take notes as I read and expound on them. But it was autographed to me, and I think if you ask, he'll autograph it for you too. There's a part where you can write something when you order the book. Nawal, how can you get into spirituality and you want to feel at peace? Well, spirituality is more of a personal journey of, like, finding yourself, or, getting knowledge of self and then applying it, and to where it becomes wisdom. So you must be like a student, an eternal student, and you must keep an open mind. Don't ever close your mind to any ideas, because truth is relevant. You don't have to agree with everything, but just keep the mind open in order to receive information, and that what you don't want, you can dismiss. But always keep that open mind, always be a seeker of knowledge, and always, see things on a deeper level, and trust your intuition and look within. That's a way to start. That's your start. And then if there's any things you're interested in, maybe get some books on them, and just start from there. It's wherever you want to start. If there's no order to, particular order, just start where you feel comfortable, and that's going to bring you some peace and, get you on a path. Okay. Why do energy vampires bother you when you start growing more energy? Because they hungry. Duh. They need energy. You got to disguise your growing energy. Like, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. So that's what you have to do. I made you start your spiritual journey years ago. Oh, I'm so glad. So how's it going so far? I don't know. You good? Do I still work with various goddesses? At this point, I've become my own archetype. Working with means acquiring the mindset and the values and things like that of certain goddesses. So that's what I'm more doing now. The mindset, the characteristics, and the wisdom and knowledge of those goddesses is what I try to, live by, emulate, I don't worship. Like, I don't like pray and do all that kind of stuff and like do all these things. If I did it, it basically would be honoring myself. in a way, self-love, things like that. So it's also it's kind of like an example, a role model, a mentor, an archetype mentor. So if that's how you like to, work with goddesses, then pick one that really, speaks to you and that, you find yourself having so much in common with. Okay. There are many you probably have in common with, but which one are you most drawn to? Which one do you have the most synchronicities with, You'd be surprised, like, and if you do the research, you'd be surprised of how many goddesses you have things in common with, and you'll find one that's very, very similar to you, and maybe that's who you can work with. I don't have them right now, but I had a set of goddess oracle cards, and there's just a bunch of goddesses, and it tells you, what they do, and things like that. So maybe you can find them online somewhere. I think they're on my store, Dark Realm Online Occult Shop. I don't think I listed it below, which I should have. I'll probably put it in the comments later. But yeah, the goddess oracle cards, or just any goddess book. Yeah, spirit told you to be your own goddess. Exactly. Because that's what all those goddesses were. They were, they were just goddesses of other goddesses before them. So, just it's an archetype, and many people are those goddesses in the flesh, that they have that energy. I mean, different cultures call them different things. So, you can use the words that you like: energies, netters, divas, whatever word you want to use. Loud, Loa. I'm trying to read some of these. So whatever, it's just whatever you choose to work with. Like I said, if whatever I am most like, there's several goddesses that I'm very much like. If you decode the goddesses, like, you have to decode the goddesses too. Some of them goddesses are decoded to know if you can represent one of them. Thank you, Boss Nova. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you. Thanks to you, I will be taking your advice and starting a business online. I'm ready to invest in myself. Oh, thank you, Bossa Nova. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Are you going to be at the workshop? Because you're going to get some very good information. Dawn Dickson actually raised $3 million for her business, and she will teach you how to do it too. And also, meet investors, mingle with investors. She met her husband because she was online and doing her thing online on Instagram, and he's liked what he saw, and so having something like that and being able to network online, and you never know. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I don't know if you're married already, but I just want to share that. It's in my video that I did on SheRaSeven. Y'all can go check that out. Thank you. I'm busy, like, really. That's a funny name. Same, definitely resonate with being my own goddess. Yes. I think we all should. But for those who are just starting out and they are, more studying, learning the goddesses, their aspects, traits, all those things, that's great. Learn all you can. And when you start to see goddesses that you can really, really relate to, then, you may have found your archetype. Sprinkle, sprinkle. The same for guys. Like, men can also use the same thing in different gods and things like that. I mean, we all have zodiacs. We all have personality types. So what makes you think we don't have a goddess type? Or a god type? Whatever. Thank you, Prestige. Just purchased my ticket as always. I'm ready. Girl, you ready? Yes. I'm ready too. I'm like, hurry up, March 27th. Like, even though my birthday is next week, I'm trying to rush to get to this workshop. So I guess I'll be older and wiser when I attend. So maybe I'll absorb more knowledge. Thank you. You write off all your expenses? I try, but my I need a new accountant because my accountant just act like he don't want to do nothing. Like I'm asking him, what can I write off? Well, I don't know. I need somebody that just gonna tell me everything to write off and write it off for me. And if anybody's out there that's a good accountant that knows stuff, come on. Because mine is lazy, for real. Okay, yes, I'm like, can I get a good one? Like, and I pay I pay them to bookkeep. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give him his 2 weeks notice. If you don't start coming up with some stuff I can do, then you out. If you don't start acting like an accountant, I'm out. Okay. I'm gonna write off everything. Like everything I do is my business because it's my business, not yours. Does that count? So that was one of the current books that I'm reading. The other one that I'm still trying to get through, maybe if I read this, I wouldn't need an accountant, or maybe I'd know some loopholes to tell the accountant. I need to be like, look, I'm gonna send this to the accountant. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send him a copy and be like, look, read this and do what you gotta do. Isn't this crazy? Look what I turned to. Just it opened up right there on that page. Manage job search expenses. Oh, job search. I won't be searching for a job. Never mind. I thought it said manage business expenses. Leaving my 401k to charity. No. My kids are charity. Do I get a 401k? I don't even know. This is sad. I'm gonna send a copy to an accountant because this is my personal autographed copy. So I got to send him a happy birthday gift. I don't even know when his birthday is, but happy belated birthday, sir. Here you go. Like, read this and do what you got to do. Like, there's no excuses. Here's the knowledge. I'm paying you. I hope he ain't. No, I don't think he watched my channel. Bet not. Okay. Anyway. Your accountant is brilliant, but he crazy. He disappear and come back a year later talking about what's up. I'm like, I'm looking for another accountant too, girl. I don't know. The numbers probably drove him crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna give him one more chance after I send him this book. If he's not better this tax season, we're over. I'm getting woke doesn't mean broke immediately. Sea of Emerald Tablets is awesome. Oh, you like the Emerald Tablets? Okay, yeah. It is a good book. And also, if you're one of those do-it-yourself people and do your own taxes and stuff, that book has a lot of good advice and tips and stuff like that, so you can get more money back. And speaking of everybody else's books, let me speak about my own book. If y'all haven't gotten my book yet, How to manifest with magic and dark cosmic energy. Magic, science, manifesting, and more. By Ashera. They forgot to put the star. Goddess. Or maybe I did. It don't matter. It's my middle name. So there's pictures in here for the visual learner as well. It's big print for y'all with cataracts and who half blind, can't see. You know, there's magic in here, there's science, there's manifesting tips, so there's something for everyone. I made this book this size and with large print because I'm so used to looking on a phone where I can zoom in on things. And when I try to read certain books and the lettering is very small, I find myself doing this, trying to zoom in on a page. And I'm like, I can't zoom in on a page. So when I had this printed, I said large print because I hate trying to and then especially if it's in a dim room and not well lit, you can't really see that well anyway. So large print, there's different things in here that many of you were asking for. So I threw it all in one book. There's manifesting, magic, science, and all of that. How it used to be in the ancient days of Kemet. They all were combined. Magic, science, and manifesting were all one, not separated. Only thing that's probably missing from here is like the religious story part of it. And I really wouldn't call it religion, but you know, the deities. I know a lot of people will always ask me about depression. I have a chapter on transmuting depression. It's just basic, very, very simple things you could do. Then there's a question and answer section in the back of frequently asked questions. And that's how it ends. Of course, you get my picture on the back because, you know, I put it there. It says, I want to thank all of you who decided to purchase this book. I appreciate your support and interest in what I do. You are the very people that allow me to do what I love, and I am so grateful for that. So I give you a little shout out and thank you on the back as well. So y'all can get that too. Just in case you forget your reading glasses, you can still read. You're welcome. Okay. Could I do a video on shadow work and journaling for inner healing? Inner healing, huh? I feel that I don't know. I just feel like I never had to do that. I just got over it and then on to the next thing. Like, I don't stand still. You know what I'm saying? So it would be hard for me to do a video on that because I don't choose to suffer. I don't choose to live in something that's not my present moment. So I don't know. That would be very hard for me. But, you know, I'm sure there are people that make videos on that. And I just probably wouldn't be the best person, you know, because I'm like, once it's done, it's done. I don't care. I'm over it. I'm done. Like, there's nothing I can do. But if anybody wants to recommend anything to her, then y'all can do that in the comments. Yeah, we're Pisces, ever evolving, right? How do I step out of the comfort zone? To me, that means step out of the comfort zone, like putting on a bra. I used to like be very shy when I was younger, and what helped me is to be around very outgoing people. and to look and learn and observe how they come out of their comfort zone, or hang around people that are like you want to become. Also, relaxing, learning as much as you can about whatever you're uncomfortable with. I think that's number one. And sometimes, when I was younger and I used to have a glass of wine to loosen up. I don't know. But nowadays, they got CBD oil, so try that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, I'm definitely just like, it's your time and you need to seize it and worry about being comfortable later. There you go. Y'all are silly. You were definitely an introvert. You were young too, but as I grew older, I learned to use that to my advantage. Okay, yeah. I think as we age, we become more ourselves and less worried about what other people think as well. I should get a female accountant. Well, if this guy does not, do the job right, I definitely will. Thank you, Anna. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I understand transmutation objectively, but how do you stay on that level if someone decides to perform an evil act on someone you love? Well, if it's an act, and if it's an evil act, and if it's illegal, then I would get involved the authorities. But if it's just something that's not illegal, then I would definitely try to use the psychology behind it in my favor. You know what I'm saying? As to why the thing was done. I would have to know the exact situation in order to transmute it, because when I transmute stuff, I'm not only making, turning negative into positive, I'm turning negative into money, into profit. Okay. I take it the next step. Like, I'm not trying to make the balance. I'm trying to get the profit out of it, period. So I think if you think like that, you may find your answer. How can you get paid off of that? Take it further. Balance, sometimes thinking about how to balance something or transmute something sometimes it's hard until you start thinking about how to make money off of it. Then it comes easy. Okay. You got the book, you ordered Nag Champa incense like Beyonce to manifest. Okay, well, wonderful. You burn your incense and read your book, girl. See what happens. Sasha wanted to do a little spell, and so I haven't done that in a while. And she found this little book that I had, and she wanted to do this spell. And I said, okay, let's do it. I have all the stuff up here, and I saw like an abundance spell, like a prosperity or money spell or something in the book. And just for fun, like, we did that. And I'm not joking at all. But the next day, I got unexpected money, a lot of it. Like, a lot of it. So, I don't know. I guess it worked, huh? So, I was like, I was surprised that she came to me and asked, can we do this? I'm like, okay. I'm not going to tell her no or why. I'm just going to do what I do. Right. So it was silly though. It was a cute, silly spell. She was like, I want to make, because my cat Velvet, she only loves me like that. She don't like anyone else. like she likes me. So Sasha wanted to do a spell to make the cat like her more, or to make the cat love her like she loves me. So you're going to have to wear my clothes after I done got my smell on them. But so she did a spell for the cat to love her more. It's funny, right? Okay. What book was that? What, the spell book? Is that what you're asking? Let me see. It's down here on the floor. I found this. Spellcraft for a magical year. This is more like rituals. It says rituals and enchantments for prosperity, power, and fortune. By Sarah Bartlett. I got this at the bookstore. It was like on sale. And this is what it looks like on the inside. It goes by month. It goes in the order of the months. And then it uses the moon and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, Sasha found it and she wanted to do that. Make the cat love her more. Okay. And it's simple stuff that you can probably get anywhere. Like, they keep the ingredients simple. I think it makes me be a better listener and more observant in a lot of cases. What? Okay. You like how I'm teaching my daughters? You like how I'm teaching the girls the ways of our people? I still regret raising my children in Christianity. Fortunately, they never really bought into it and hopefully will not raise mine. Yeah, I never bought into it either. So that's the weird thing. Like when I was younger, thank you for that comment, Lolita. When I was younger, even though my mom made me go to church sometimes and I was like, you know, in and out and learning, and I never really believed it. Like I always knew that it wasn't literal. I always knew that there was something missing or it wasn't fulfilling to me at all. It was like there was something missing and it was not, I didn't see what everyone else found, you know, as a big deal in religion. So I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, this is nothing for, this ain't it, maybe. And so it wasn't until I started reading Revelations in the Bible that I began to decode and wanted to learn how to decode more and see what it really meant, because I knew it was all metaphor. Because let's face it, once you get to that part, it's like, okay, well, now I know it's fake because this ain't really getting ready to happen. Okay. So there must be, you know, metaphor. That's when I started to kind of know that it meant something else. And so, thus the mystery began. Right. And then, like, now today, I see what most of it means. And the thing is, when you know what most of it means, then you see the abuse, not physical abuse, but the brainwashing, I'll say, and the spell that religion has over people to take their energy. You see it now. Like after you learn how to decode it, you see that it's a way to harness energy from people. And until they figure out that it's, you know, that it means something else and get the true meaning of it, they're victim to having their energy stolen, or actually they just give it away. So they're, until they figure it out, they're sacrificing their own energy. Okay. But, you know, as long, and the thing is, it's like the Matrix. If you don't know, then you're not missing anything, or you don't feel any type of way about it. But when you start to ask the right questions and you start to feel some type of way about it, that means it's time to level up to the next level of knowledge. And so, if you don't see anything wrong with whatever religion you're in, then you haven't evolved to asking those questions yet, which means you're perfectly fine and it's not really bothering you and you don't know anyway. So when you start becoming uncomfortable, that's when it's time to start asking the questions and getting the answers and moving forward. But like I said, most people, they don't bother to ask questions or do any research, or sometimes they don't even want to ask the questions. So they're fine with it. But I think older souls that have actually been here before and have done the religious thing before, as soon as they're here, they know something is off about it and it's not what it is. And so they automatically are more attracted to different things or asking the right questions to get the right answers, or, looking more into spirituality rather than religion, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like religion can lead you to spirituality. I'll say that. You just have to look deeper and ask questions. Like I said, when I started reading Revelations, I'm like, this opened a whole new door. Okay. Mm-hmm. What else I was going to tell y'all? Look at here. Okay. Show you one of my notebooks. Like when I read, I literally write down so much stuff. I don't know if I can see that. I literally just fill pages up as I read. Because when I write things down, I remember it. And it's like I'm also understanding it in more than one way. And writing words, and when I write in cursive, it's like a flow of information. There's no stopping. And so it's kind of like I channel the information as well to verify it when I'm writing in cursive. I don't know how, I don't know why. That's just something that I do. And it just sinks in with more, what's the word? It just sinks in with more depth, and it sinks in with more, it just, it just feels better. It just feels better. Like, I don't know how to explain. Maybe you guys can help me. It's just very confirmed. You know what I mean? It's a confirmity, clarity. Thank you. It's just something that resonates deeper. I don't know. So, and then the pen that I use, it has to flow. It can't be one of them pens that feel gross on paper. I like the gel pens or the felt tip. It has to flow with a flowing ink. The ink has to be wet. The ink has to flow out. I can't do them ballpoints unless it's emergency and I don't have anything else. I need a flowing pen. I need to flow. I need the currency. I need the, that channel. I don't know why. I just do. Okay. I'm very particular about my pens. Very particular. Like, even if it's a free pen, I won't even like it. I won't even take it if it's not a good pen. Like, here's a good pen right here. I bought this. It's a tool. And it clicks, but it's a gel pen and it flows. It writes like this. So it flows. It has dark ink, and the ink is like very good. See, look. And it just flows and flows. Have to have something that flows. I prefer felt because I like the way it feels. So like when I'm writing, I don't know, maybe it's a spiritual thing, but I use my imagination, so I'm visualizing. I really can't taste and smell except unless the ink smells, but the how it feels in my hand to be smooth and flowing and like that, it's very satisfying. And if I'm enjoying the experience of writing and reading, then I'm going to enjoy the learning aspect of it as well, which I will receive it better. I don't know. It's just something I do. So if I'm in a nice environment, if I have like a candle burning or just at a nice desk that, you know, has all my favorite things on it and I'm writing and things like that, and I'm loving how the pen is flowing, I'm getting way more than just the knowledge. I'm getting the experience, I'm getting the pleasure out of it. So I'll want to do it more. And so that's why if you're going to be an eternal student, you might as well enjoy it, you know. So I'll have my drink or whatever, tea or whatever. I just make it an ambiance so that it's more like a meditation or like you're just enjoying studying. You said Saturn energy. What's that mean? You're going to have to explain that. I should have a series of decoding. I have a Patreon with like the little baby steps and a couple of videos and a bunch of PDF books and a bunch of examples of decoding things from, you know, the past and, you know, maybe some current events and things like that, or, you know, recent events on my Patreon, which is Decode with Ashera. You guys can look it up on Patreon, Decode with Ashera. So I do have some things on there just to give you a deeper look into it. When I develop the discipline to actually write a book, I might, on decoding, because there's layers to decoding. It's not just like one thing means one thing. One thing means 20 things, depending on the situation and the context clues around it. So it's super in depth. The best books I can recommend to you are the Pierre Sabak books. Those are the best ones I can recommend. The Holographic Universe and Murder of Reality. Of course, Emerald, the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets as well, because Thoth writes in code. And you'll be able to see stuff because he'll kind of define some of the code in the Emerald Tablets. And the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets also like decode some of them, some of the tablets. So definitely start there. Okay. When am I going to have you call on again? Just asking. Let's see what time it is. You want to call right now? What you going to talk about? The Saturn energy? Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. I have a box of random things right here that just pile in when I do my videos. And you don't even want to know what's in this box. I got makeup, books, hair product, empty package, Michael Jackson dolls, children's books, an empty box. Do you want to call in right now? Should we take a caller? Okay. Let me see if I got to pull up the number. I got to pull up the thing. Hold on. Let me set it up. What are we going to talk about? Let me pull up the thing. Now, have you called in? Sorry. All right. All right, you can call. Hold on one second. Oh. What are we going to talk about? Astrology. You just bought 2 books based on my recommendations. Oh, I'm glad. Do you like them? Whatever books did you get? Okay. There you go. Hold on. Go for it. What's going on here? Okay, you can call now. I'm reading. Do I speak any other languages? Not really. Like, I understand some of the languages because I took a lot of Spanish during high school, but not fluently. I don't speak anything except the language I'm speaking now and code. Oh, hold on. Let me just text the number. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Well, then it's fine. Then I'll just hang it up. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I'll leave the phone line open if you want to call. You got the number. All right. So, yeah, I don't speak any other language. Coded language. MJ's got a lot of code in his videos. Yep. Most artists do. I would say 99.9%. Okay. So I'm going to try to have more guests on this channel too. I've been basically having them on my other channel, but I'm going to try to get some more guests on this channel as well. Because I think a lot of people are, especially if they're well known or, out there, they don't want everybody to know their business or their spirituality or whatnot. So some people don't want to be like all talking and whatnot, privacy issues, But if you said it's not working, hold on. Did I send the right number? I think I sent the right number. Hold on. Huh? Okay, well, it's not working. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Maybe I have to open something. I don't know. Maybe I have to delete something. I don't know. Maybe I can call you from there. Do you want me to call you from there? Okay, let's see. I'll just call you. Let's see if it works. Oh shoot. Okay. I'm blind. Let's see. I'm gonna call and see what happens. It's ringing. I hear ring. Hello.
Hello,
You have reached the channel of Ashera Star Goddess. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is Cryptonomics.
Oh, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Can't complain.
Okay. So, what did you want to discuss? Did you want to talk about that Saturn energy, or what did you want to talk about? Astrology?
I mean, I'm open to anything, but something that kind of strikes me right now is a lot of the energy in the atmosphere concerning like these solar flares. We've had a lot of solar flare activity over the last 48 to 72 hours. It's been crazy, and we've been seeing a lot of changes in the stock market and stock prices. A lot of things are plummeting. Well, everything's plummeting really, but it's real interesting to see the correlation in those things and seeing the solar flares. And there's been earthquakes and tsunamis. So a lot of strange stuff going on right now. And I mean, even energy levels are a little bit off too. I was a little tired yesterday, but I don't know if you felt anything.
Yeah, I felt a little tired. That's why I came live because sometimes I get energy when I go live because I start to channel when I start talking and I can't stop. But yeah, I get energy when I go live because it's like
Yeah.
I start receiving stuff. But I saw, yeah, there's like the what do you call it? The auroras in the sky.
Oh, you
Uh,
did?
there's auroras in the sky from the solar flares,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
All that energy is coming through.
and what do you think it's doing to the stock market? It's like people are just
I mean, it was an instant reversal, but I mean, it's been a massive sell off in stock market, and I have an app on my phone, and it tells me. I think it's pretty reliable, but it tells me in advance of when these solar flares are, and they say like a coronal hole is facing Earth, da 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 da, and it's interesting to see some of the energy or the reactions, the bigger reactions, when these type of things happen. And with so many in such a small space of time, I'm not surprised of what's happened so far at all.
mm, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to keep up with that type of stuff like maybe a year ago because they would be happening, and I would keep up with that too. But I see you're
Yeah.
keeping up with that now, and it's like, yep, the gamma rays, the neutrinos, all the
Yeah.
energy that's
And
coming in.
I had something on my Instagram about what Fanny just put in the comments, the space hurricane. I think one of the articles I saw on the internet was talking about due to all these solar storms happening, the energy gets concentrated up at the poles, right? Because magnetic poles, and that there was like what they called a hurricane, from all the energy just kind of swirling around and stuff like that. So I mean, crazy times, very crazy.
What do you think that is metaphysically or spiritually? Like, because plasma energy, souls, solar flare. Like, what do you think is happening actually?
I mean, I probably can't describe it the way you do. You're a little bit more creative on that, but actually, I probably can't even touch that at all because I haven't even put the thought into it. But for me, I like to use this type of notification with the astrology because I think a lot of astrologers don't use it, but I think it's significant. Not just do you have the aspects, and the planetary energies that are transiting different signs right now, but you also have this kind of wild card, right? If you think about astrology like a deck of cards, which it does translate back to a deck of cards if you think about it. The deck of cards is nothing but an astrological construct, but you can think of the solar flare as the wild card, the joker, because it just comes, we don't know when it's going to happen. It just happens. And I've seen cases where solar flares have done good things in the stock market. I've seen, this example right now where it's doing bad things in the market,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess we can't even say it's good or bad because it just depends on what side of the coin you're on.
Mm-hmm.
You can make money right now.
Yeah. You just got to know what to invest in. Also, someone sent me some weird, notice that there was going to be a solar flare, but they sent it in a sly, sneaky way, like as their username or their password or something. And I was like, solar flare? What are you trying to tell me? And this was like a while ago before it happened. And I think a lot of people know that these things are going to happen and they're going to affect the market and things like that. And that's what the decoding is for, because I think they send out messages prior to certain things happening. And if you know, and you do what you got to do, And so that's why I try to get people to understand code so they can start seeing it and knowing, or at least thinking about what, they could do in order to, not lose out on something or not have to experience something that they shouldn't be experiencing if they have the knowledge prior to.
Yes.
And then also a lot of stuff that, I decode, I'm like, it does line up with, the astrology, like you always say, if it's, oops, it lines up with the astrology. So it's like, you're like, it makes sense. It's confirmed. It lined up with astrology. It lined up with the code. It lined up with, this weird dream I had. So it must be true. So the next time something like that happens, you're going to pay attention and use your intuition and trust it.
And I know I kind of vibe off of you talking as well. And there was somebody in the chat that was talking about, I was making them scared, talking about the market and all that. Don't worry. It's just like astrology. If you ever have a reading from any astrologer, there's never good or bad that's being told. It's how you perceive it, of course, your perception of it. Because you can take something that's bad, make it good. You can take something good, make it bad, and ruin it, right? Same thing with the stock market. You can make money going down. A lot of people don't know it, but you can make money going up too. In other words, I'm just trying to say people should see both sides. You have to see both sides of everything. And if you're only looking at one side, then you're going to panic. You're going to worry because, that's the only side you see. You have to see the full picture. And all of this stuff all of the things that we're talking about, astrology, the deck of cards, code, where it's all symbolism, dreams, everything is symbolism.
Well, I believe that's true because even biblically, like Noah's Ark, there was a promise to never flood the earth again with water, but they didn't say nothing about fire, which is what also could represent the plasma, solar flares, things like that. And the whole Bible is actually coded, and also probably it can be decoded with astrology as well. But all these flares and energies that are coming in could be represented as that quote unquote fire, because they call gin smokeless fire or something like that, which would be plasma. So that's exactly what it is, but they would explain it in certain ways for all people to be able to understand it. They couldn't just say the plasma, because people didn't know what the plasma was unless they knew. So there's this, smokeless fire beings, and an energy and intelligence, a solar flare, like everything is living with an intelligence. So even if we see a solar flare as an act of, like cosmic nature, it's still intelligent. So It still has intelligence. So everything is, to me, is communicating with other things. And if we know certain things, then we expect certain things and we prepare for certain things. So I say prepare for the plasma. It's just going to increase. And that's why my merch says the plasma.
Let's talk about this word plasma. I mean, like I said, whenever you talk, I kind of focus in on something, and then it creates like this picture in my head, and then I'm like, let's kind of dig into that. Like plasma for me, because I always use everything astrologically, and so in astrology we have fire, earth, air, and water, right? But they never talk about plasma. So in my mind, I'm wondering, like, okay, would you consider fire on Earth to be different than plasma?
Mm-hmm.
You said yes?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. And so in my mind, I'm thinking the same thing. So the difference being, and you fill in too, I'm thinking plasma is more of the fire directly from the sun, or in terms of waves, or solar fed energy directly from the sun, whereas fire is not, fire is on Earth. It's what we
Fire is not really fire is not really an element though. It's like a reaction. So like plasma would be more on the line of water. And I know that sounds strange, but
it does.
If you have
it's like Aquarius.
If you have you said something about Aquarius?
Well, yeah, because you know how everybody thinks Aquarius, they say it's the water bearer, and then when you look at the sign of Aquarius, it's like these three wavy lines. But to me, that's the axis of Leo, or the opposite axis is Leo, which is sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Aquarius is always this revolutionary, disruptive energy. So, I think of more of electric fire or electric type of wave, like water, but not water. It's also a air sign. So it travels through the air. Aquarius does.
Mm-hmm. So the fourth state of matter is plasma. So the first state would be like a solid, which would be ice, then liquid, which would be water, then gas, which would be like a cloud. Then you have the plasma, which is like lightning, or the electrons going around that create the lightning. So it's just a different form of matter, how energy materializes in different forms. And it would definitely go from ice, water, gas into plasma, aka lightning, gamma rays, neutrinos. There's the plasma, sun. It's all from different levels of the matter.
Someone said frequency.
But also particles turn into waves.
Say it again.
Particles turn into waves once you quantum tunnel. So it's like frequencies, particles, they will turn into each other depending on if they can quantum tunnel through like a wall. It would just like turn into like a ghost and travel through the wall as a wave, and then on the other side of the wall it would become a particle again. So that's what higher frequencies of plasma will do. It will quantum tunnel.
They've done experiments with that.
And I think some of the actually some of the plasma that can't quantum tunnel will get trapped in the earth, heating it up. And if there's a blast from the sun and those particles can quantum tunnel, they're going to quantum tunnel through the ionosphere of the earth and come into the earth as well. So you're getting heat from inside the earth as well as outside of the earth right now at the same time. That's why they had to create the weather making machines to kind of slow down and cool down the effects of all these things that are happening, because like when the inside of the earth gets heated up, the center part of the earth is like mostly iron, and as it gets hotter it melts into like a liquid, and then it starts to tilt, because like when liquid is like moving around, the weight of that liquid will shift maybe the axis of the earth, which is going to cause the magnetic pole shift. And so it's basically that's what's going on, but they have to like disguise it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then that you're getting into the like chemtrails and stuff like that, right?
Well, in the book of Enoch, it's basically they tell you that there's a weather machine. Like they've had the technology for a while, or they planned on creating it or something. But they have to, like, they do that because of the sleeping people that don't realize anything is really going on. So they do have that technology. And I mean, I think this is what's happening. But every time there is a solar flare, um, things go crazy. And I think people can predict the solar flares because I think sometimes they can create the solar flares. I mean, it goes deep, but or they know because this has happened before, so they know.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like a couple of seconds ago, like is there something perhaps because you say a coronal hole, right? And you see these holes in the sky and these holes in the ozone layer and these holes all over the place. It's like, is something causing that, outside of the natural process that would then in turn, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, is that something that is being done? We just got through with this crazy snowstorm. And that was a freak of nature. I don't care what anybody says. Like even when I looked at it on the radar app, it was just like a straight line. It went from like Texas through like southeast Arkansas or western Tennessee, and then it just like kind of stopped. And there were people here that were saying like 45 minutes west of me it was nothing, and then I take that back. 45 minutes west of me of snow, and then other 45 minutes east of me it was just like rain. It was nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder about the manipulation going on in terms of the weather, solar flares, and things like that.
Yep. And they know, and they warn the people that need to be warned ahead of time so they can do what they got to do. And then the rest of the people are just, if they know, they know that if they don't, they don't. So it is manipulated. Everything is manipulated. And that's why learning code and even astrology can help predict when things are going to happen, and maybe you can take precautions and stuff like that. And I don't think I think that most people like me, I've always been into this type of knowledge, and so I've already like known like years ago. But and so I'm not super surprised anymore because I've already like done this, and I'm like, okay, well, they messing with the weather, okay, and whatever, let's just concentrate on this right now, or try to see when to do things and when not to do things, what to prepare for, what not to take literally. So that's what I'm doing right now, because that's what we need right now. Like the things are going to happen regardless, but do we know when they're happening, and are we going to be prepared?
Yeah, and that's true. Everything is manipulated. A lot of people don't know about that or subscribe to that, but stocks, they're manipulated. The market is manipulated. I mean, the question is though, is who's doing the manipulation? This is something that I've always tried to think about, but I don't focus on. But there are ways to read the market where you know what it's going to do ahead of time. That's how you make money. Some people say like crypto is manipulated. And sorry, I'm on. one of my crypto alarms went off. Sorry about that. And, there's certain things that you can see in terms of waves, in terms of patterns. And that's what you use when you're trading is waves and patterns. And you can see the cycles. And they always repeat over and over and over again. So, manipulation is probably, that's one word we can use, but there's repetition going on that is not in sight. And so people try to give it a name, and I guess that's what we're calling it, manipulation. But if we can see what can't be seen and the repetition going on, that's when we start to get into the predictive cycles and knowing what's going to happen before it happens.
Right. Like my thinking goes so deep and beyond that, it wouldn't even matter if I said stuff or not. But at this point, I think so many people are not aware of certain things that's why they're taking it so slow, because it would be a shock if people knew the truth.
Yeah.
So they can't just unleash the truth right now. They got to give it to you in little pieces and hope you notice and try to start figuring it out and getting used to the idea that everything is manipulated and coded. And so once people start getting used to the idea that everything is coded, manipulated, done on purpose, then more things will be released as, people are accepting of it. And they're going to do it a little bit at a time, but they have to use shock value in a lot of things to wake people up. It's like a wake up call when certain things shocking happens, because it's like a jar to your subconscious mind. And so
isn't that like a lot of Aquarius energy though? Everything we're saying is like shock value. And, like with what you're saying, even if we pay attention right now, it is slowly being leaked to us, because like your cell phone, it can sit on your computer desk, right? And you might be listening to music, and the next thing you know, you pick up your phone, and then they're trying to send you something along the lines of the music that you were playing. So, we're talking about manipulation and things like that, but it's slowly there. If we look,
right.
If we look at the algorithms and everything, that is another form of manipulation. Algorithms are also there every day, programming, doing things to alter the state of reality, and deliver kind of a matrix reality to us, if you want to put it that way. But you have to see it to know that it's true. And there's a documentary on YouTube. I gotta get the title, but they talk about that. All this stuff with social media and the engineering and all the money that goes into it, it's very deep. It's very deep.
I believe that. I also believe that their technology is way more advanced than we know. I know they can read brain signals straight up. I already know that, because just like a computer works, just like how Wi-Fi works when it delivers, information on, the waves, your thoughts work the same way. And if there's all this 5G flying through the air, as soon as you think something, your thought waves hitch a ride on that 5G and go somewhere, probably to the closest thing that picks up on 5G, which is your phone. So I'm like, I'm thinking about when Bruno Mars is going to come out with a new song, and boom, today it comes out, or yesterday came out with a new song, and I'm like, what? And it's the first thing that pops up on my phone when I open it this morning. And usually the first thing that pops up on my phone, like if I go on Instagram or something, it's like my own page, or something that I clicked on before. But this pops up like, boom, here you go, because you was asking.
Yep. And we have to be conscious of this, though. This is kind of what we're talking about, being woke. It's not that it could be damaging, if we know what's going on. We'll be able to make the right corrections and make the best decisions for us. But if the problem is when you don't know what's going on, and then you can be led into a direction that you may not want to go in. I mean, this has been going forever, even before algorithms, though, right? I mean, just with advertising, TV, marketing, cable TV, radio. I mean, all of that stuff does the same thing, but it's on a lower tier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the algorithms and all of these digital things and the speed of technology these days, they're able to just do it so fast, and it's probably faster than we can react to sometimes. But just knowing that it's there, I think, is a good thing for people.
True. And that's one of the reasons why you see like people putting the tin foil or aluminum foil on their heads, or buying those 5G hats that stop 5G from going to your brain. Well, it's also, do you think it's stopping the thoughts from, the thought waves from going out into hitching a ride on 5G? I don't know. But and then you have to think about that one rapper guy who got like a pink diamond or something put on his like forehead, like where his pineal gland is,
Yeah, I saw that.
Is it to pick up some extra stuff to send it out like in a higher frequency? I don't know, but things are going to get strange. It reminds me of the cartoon like Steven Universe, and they use a lot of this type of technology. So it's very strange.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier about like Aquarius, and I mean that can translate even to disruptive technology, but it's all a matter of who wants to be disrupted and who's not going to be disrupted, who's prepared, who's not prepared, because that's the only way you can really be disrupted, if you're not prepared for something. I think you even mentioned like with the snowstorm, you were prepared. But look at all the other people that weren't prepared for certain things and certain energies to manifest. You're gonna suffer. So you have to be conscious of certain things. You have to have a little bit. I'm not saying you got to be prophetic or anything, but you have to have a little bit of insight and a little bit of ability to discern,
right?
And say, hey, what do I need to maybe anticipate?
Right. And I think all the knowledge was given to us. We just have to seek it out. Like, I was prepared because of the Book of Enoch. It tells you everything that's happening right now. And once I started seeing the stuff go down, I'm like, this is next, this is next, and this is next. Because this already happened. I didn't have a checklist. Check. Okay, time to prepare.
You got it mapped out.
So, my Book of Enoch sat on my shelf for like a year before I picked it up, because I couldn't read it at first because it was too, I don't know, I just didn't understand it. But then as I learned how to decode more, and it was perfectly understandable the next time I picked it up. So after I read the Emerald Tablets, the Kabbalion, and all of those books, and just started to study symbolism, as soon as I picked that back up, after I started to study electromagnetic, plasma and all that kind of stuff, when I picked it back up, I knew all what it meant. And that's how I knew that to prepare. I even did a video. I don't know if it's on this channel. It's called something about a bug out bag. I did a video where I had all this stuff I ordered from Amazon. And I'm like, this is what I got, in case something happens. I had like this electric radio that you wind up and it with a flashlight, and you could charge your phones on it.
Yeah.
I had like all this stuff.
I got a couple actually.
I had water purification drops, like, the preppers. So I had all that in my house. And look, if I had needed it, which I did need some of it, I would have been good, because y'all know how they said the water was messed up in Houston or whatnot. I had water purification drops. I had like, if we were trapped in the house with no food, I had these like giant protein things that last up to 3 days with all these calories in it that you can order on Amazon. I had, just a bunch of stuff that I probably would have needed just because I was
so let's
prepared.
Get into that a little bit, right? what are some of the things you see happening in this year?
Okay, so I see a continual seasonal disruption of things that are going to continue, like the fires in California, the flooding, the fires, the flooding, the fires, the flooding. It's going to do this until everything balances back out. There's a lot of and the reason for the fires and the flooding is it's like the shift, because the fires, if you burn a fire for so long, the ionosphere, the ozone under that, plus with the sun and the solar flares going at the same time, that's going to disintegrate some stuff. And so you're creating, a gate, an opening. And so things can get in and get out. And you can see that cancer rates have increased. You can see like people's immune system has gotten lower because there's more things getting in that's lowering, certain people's immune system. And this is another reason why they are pushing the interracial agenda, because some people are able to absorb more radiation than others. And once these gates are, opened, once the sun is in full effect, once the shift has occurred, a lot of people are going to get sick. And that's what happened with the the crown virus.
Yeah.
It was people were unable to adjust to the frequency change or the amount of radiation inside and outside of the earth, and so if you're unable to transmute that radiation, it will cause damage. So, I can't really talk about this on here for some reason, but y'all know what it is.
I wrote I remember the last time I called in, and I think you asked me the question about, what I saw in terms of prediction and all that. I didn't have it in front of me though, but I knew I had written one on my Facebook page. I don't go on Facebook much. I had to go back and find it though, because I thought I had it saved on my computer. But I wrote it for 2020. I thought I just did it for 2020, but it says 2020, 2021. So it does apply to this year. It's a pretty long write-up, but I'd like to share the whole thing, but it's real long. But a lot of it centers around Pluto as it's leaving Capricorn. Pluto's in Capricorn right now. And based on its position, and when I went back and looked, that's when the coronavirus really broke out, and that's what Pluto stands for. Just some back history on it in this write-up, and it's funny because I'll write stuff, I'll get in the zone, and then I'll save it, I forget about it. This one I just happen to remember because you brought it up. But I put in here, I said in 1776, the birth of this nation, there was a smallpox epidemic going around that lasted approximately 4 years with a 30% death rate. And that kind of correlates back to the cycle, the chart for the United States, when we think about it, because the United States is in the Pluto return right now. And Pluto return would signify a lot of revolution, change, resets. You hear a lot of that in the financial circles. Everybody's talking about a financial reset right now. But some of the things I have in here, because, and I won't get into the details of where Pluto's sitting in the chart, but there's other telltale factors. And we have to also say that Capricorn, if we break that down a little bit, they call it the novel coronavirus. And yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. But
The crown.
novel is like a book. That's going to correspond back to Mercury, which is the planet of communication. And it's also an accelerated air energy. And see, it's associated with Pluto. So we get this airborne type of virus, Pluto associated with diseases and things like that. Corona or coroner virus.
You mean the crown?
What's
the
that?
Crown? You mean the crown?
The crown, exactly. Yeah. And that's more of a Saturn type energy, which is associated with Capricorn. But I put in here, it's a swiftly moving respiratory death virus. Consequently, the virus has a name of SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome. And just some of the other things that are going on, I put in, there's going to be extremely large swaths of populations impacted with terror, violence, and loss of supplies and resources, aggression and civil violence from election outcomes. Racism and bigotry will be at an all-time high as the nation's reputation is transformed. High volatility in bank processes, perceptions, and bank stability. Investment and credit disruptions. I put in here, recession is imminent. Loss of confidence in economic authorities, treasury, financial services, total loss of economic control, money supply, wage losses, camps for lack of resources, and deaths on these camps.
Wow. It's like all lining up.
Yeah, electrical blackouts and limited electricity. I wrote this last year, so I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, he just, reading what's going on." No, I wrote this last year, and the proof is on my Facebook page. But electrical blackouts, limited electricity, possible violent earthquakes or eruptions of Earth, emerging technology pertaining to currency, technology, new inventions, increased demand for communication. Technology possible due to medical disruptions, which we've seen with like telehealth, delusional perspectives and psychological breakdowns, aggressive but limited attempts to help others with resources. So again, be ready, so you because people aren't going to be so sharing. Evacuation, lockdowns of society while people calling for freedom, protest, growing transformation and clarity of individual position in the world and as it relates to the restrictions and problems of the nation. Failing infrastructure, I think this one's going to be one to watch out for, such as dams, levees, and power lines. Increase in engineering construction activity for social needs. Erupting new humanitarian aids for homeless and families pertaining to home design and unity, people getting married in rapid fashion, maybe even in groups.
Why would you say the married thing? Like what planet lines up with that?
Well, it's not necessarily a planet, it's where Pluto lies. There's other indicators. I mean, when we start talking about the degrees of the planet and the sign, you can actually drill down into the degree, sets of degrees and things like that, and it gives you other planetary correlations. And I think that's where this came from when I wrote it down.
Do you think it's because of certain things where people can't gather in large crowds, that when those things are lifted, people are going to rush to go do their plans that were postponed?
It could be that, and it can also be the fact that, people are dying, right? That could push it some too. It could also be impatience, hey, well, let's just do it now, not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel either.
Mm-hmm.
There's a breakdown of health due to bad eating habits that can happen because a lot of people are just stuck up in the house due to the virus. Massive disruptions that call for people, communities to unify as gang activity may increase. Overabundance of unique restrictive laws upon citizens. Social mob aggression upon non-citizens or those who do not have citizenship. Socialized medicine.
But see, also, I think we can decode these as well, because all the things that you're saying they sound really bad, but then when you look and see how they've come to pass, they're not as bad as they sound. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So that's
correct. If you're ready, if you're prepared for certain things, these don't have to be what they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you can almost read them backwards. If you read them backwards, then you can actually say, well, hey, I need to do this. I need to do that. Okay, maybe I need to hold off on this. For instance, this other one here is funerals and transference of property, insurance claims. Okay, do you have insurance? If you don't, maybe you need to get it. Because this energy is going to be here and it's going to happen. It's not to say that people should die. I'm not saying that, but we know that this energy is out here. So if people aren't ready, if you aren't already doing the things that you should have been doing, this energy is looking for you.
Right.
And so this is
that the Saturn?
You have to pay attention to. What's that?
Okay, so where does the Saturn come in?
Well, this is all Capricorn.
So that's Saturn.
Capricorn. So yes. So when we look at a planet in a sign, for me, this is how I read them, is you have to also associate the planetary rulership of that sign, and that's going to be Saturn. Even though you have other planets in there, Saturn is going to still flavor a lot of this stuff. So you have to put that at the top of the chain, and then you have to read down, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is the ruling planet here, and everything happens under Saturn in Capricorn. Even though Saturn is going to be in, maybe the planet itself may be transiting to another sign. I think Saturn was actually in Capricorn when this was written, though. Even though it's transiting to another sign, that's fine. You read it over there as well. So this is how we get different flavors in the chart and can start to understand things. The planets are going to flavor those signs, period. Doesn't matter if that planet's there or not.
I used to because I don't know astrology like you do, but I would always say Saturn was like, the rings around Saturn were like, if you can get through them, then you can get out. If you can get through this thing, then you can get out of this thing. So it's like, you can't have a closed mind. You can't have one way of thinking. You have to know how to go in and out. You have to know how to transmute, and you have to know how to think backwards. So, or you have to be disciplined, and then you have to be like undisciplined at one point. Or you have to be moral, and then you have to be immoral at some point, because that's the only way in and out. That's how I would explain it. So I don't know, but I feel that a lot of people are too brainwashed or closed-minded or too set in one way, that when they're presented with, something in front of them, they don't know how to get past it, through it, over it, under it. They stuck in the middle, and the pain is thunder. And thunder is a result from lightning, which is plasma. And the rings around Saturn are made of plasma, and they don't even know why they are there and why they haven't dissipated yet.
Yep. And that's funny, because that's what's associated with Saturn in astrology is restriction, hedging, or not being able to. It's authority as well, and usually people think of authority as an oppressive. Keep people down, keep them in, keep them under control, that type of energy. So because it's associated with death too. So because plasma could be souls that are
circling around Saturn. They're in between ice crystals, Saturn rocks. I mean, plasma Saturn. I mean, the plasma that surrounds Saturn, fog, ice, plasma,
Yeah.
and it just goes around and around and around.
And you can't see the surface.
Right.
You know. Yeah, can't see the surface. It's those asteroids or whatever they call it. They're in a tight circle around the planet. They don't move, and then they say you can't get through them and all that. It's a lot of.
It's like that Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't move. And since Saturn's like a gas giant, gas transforms into plasma.
Yep.
So
first of the gas planets. Yep.
So the rings around Saturn could be Saturn's dead.
And Kia, she pointed out something too. Yeah, Saturn doesn't have to be bad things, because like even you're pointing out, if you can see both sides, you can master it, and it can be very rewarding as well. And that's why people that go through their Saturn return, things can be very trying, very tough during that period of time. It's like every 15 years, you're going to go through either opposition or return. Your opposition will be 15 years, I think, and your return's 30 years. But and then squares will be every 7.5 years. But if you can do the work with Saturn ahead of time, if you do this, it's a discipline. It's a very disciplined planet and energy. And if you can do the things ahead of time, it's a slow-moving planet, then you can conquer and achieve. But if you don't, it's going to drag you through the mud.
Right.
A lot of people talk about depression and things like that. You can't allow. You have to know what these energies are, and then you have to move accordingly, plan ahead. That's what all we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is manipulated at the end of the day.
Right. And Tesla said when we start looking at everything in energy form, then we'll have the keys to the universe, or we'll have the answers. Human. What did it say? Human. What did he say? He said technology will be way in advance once we start seeing things in energetic form. So that's how I see things, like in plasma form, because plasma is simply, it could be intelligence. So let's say when we die, when we transition, we're going to become plasma. Okay. So what we're looking at as plasma now from a physical form are actual souls or spirits. And so they could be dead in between states of reincarnation. So we're looking at a planet surrounded by plasma. We're looking at gas, which is a transition of liquid into the third state of matter. So we're looking at life, and we're looking at death, quote unquote, but we're also looking at the rings that are, they said Saturn's rings were disappearing at a certain point or getting smaller. So that means people are being reincarnated at this time. So I have to look at stuff as far as energy, because that's what helps me. And I think if we looked at it from every direction, that's why I said never have a closed mind. You got to see it from every angle. It will all make sense and fit together like a big puzzle. And like when your astrology is like really lined up with this information, then I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody said Jay-Z sold title. Wow. See.
What? Who he sold it to?
Yeah, I think it is. I just Googled it. Yeah, he sold it.
I know he made money. He probably a billionaire, quadruple billionaire now.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. It's all of these energies. I think what people should do, like, you have your unique way of seeing energy. And it's awesome. I have my way of seeing energy. And people need to come into that to start to understand. And then I think we'll start to see a lot more similarities in, thought processes and ideas and how to, get out of certain dilemmas or understand certain problems and, kind of move through things. But you're not going to get it in school. And I do see some people asking about astrology and stuff, but just start reading. That's going to be the biggest thing. If you want to learn about astrology, of course. And if you, follow Ashera's channel, she has outlets, for seeing the things that she sees and how she sees it and decodes and all of that. And I think there's value in that.
I could find prophecy in a Bobby Brown video. I could find it everywhere. I'm crazy like that.
I ain't crazy. Yeah, I'm not crazy.
I saw.
It's actually genius because everything is symbolism. We said that earlier. Everything is symbolism, and that is the crazy part to people. Is because they don't want to believe that. But your dreams are symbolism. Everything you see on TV is symbolism. I mean, the deck of cards you play with symbolism. The tarot cards you use symbolism. You name it. Everything is just symbols. When people use psychedelics, the same thing. They start to see stuff. Symbolism, just the same. It's just a different mode, different modality of how you're having that experience.
So,
and
that's right. Like the underlying message to all of this is that everything changes. The pendulum swings the opposite direction. Get ready. Period. What's up must come down. That's basically it. Like if you can't get through it, then you need to get over it or under it. You got to get, you can't stay where you are. Everything is constant, and you always have to be ready for change and prepared and Nothing is ever going to stay the same. And I think that's the underlying message. Everything must evolve. Devolve.
Exactly. And I'm gonna wrap up here. But you started the stream talking about the seminar and things like that. And one of the days, I was just reading through kind of the last few lines of, what I have for 2020 and 2021. And this here is true. Jobs will be scarce and mundane. A rush and desperate fight for them will appear, but no emotional loyalty to serve within them. So to me, the way I read that is do what you want to do. Develop your skills so that you don't have to fight anybody.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to take control when Trump leaves the building. Y'all remember that Bobby Brown video from Ghostbusters 2 when Trump left the building? He said, I guess we're going to have to take control. That means we're on our own, because that's the name of the song, On Our Own. Like during the shift, there's no polar opposite. There's no up or down. There's no duality. Everything is in between. The space in between, that's us right now. So we have to take control until the shift is done. So when Trump leaves the office and Bobby Brown's up in the sky on the building talking about we're going to have to take control, we're on our own. That's basically what we are. We're on our own. Is that Saturn energy?
Yeah, being alone. Yeah.
So, sorry, y'all know how to get my song in. What is that energy?
What, that song?
Like busting out into song.
Oh, yeah, that's Pisces energy.
I guess I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for like sharing all this information. Like I know everybody's like grateful for that and how it all lines up. And a lot of people, really look at astrology and, to see what's going on and see what's coming in. And that's my weak spot, but that's your strong spot. So thank you for sharing, because y'all know I'll just read a video or, a news story and see the future. But if it's literally in the stars, then wow, you know.
I have other ideas outside. I just read the comments. People start talking about astrology, and then I get sucked in. You know, that's just how I am. But I have like my mind just travels during the day sometimes, and you know, you come up with these concepts, or maybe the concepts are being revealed to me. But frequency is one I want to talk on too. I'm writing some notes about it though, and I'll probably want to talk about that one day. Frequency and how to make it work. Yes, Bobby Brown is an Aquarius.
See, it works.
Figure.
Do you think?
But maybe we'll talk about that one day.
Do you think that, like, I don't know, it's like they plan this stuff for thousands of years in advance. So I mean, I don't put anything past anybody.
Well, but then we have to say, who is they? Because
them people.
It can't be like us. It can't be just.
They can be us one day. Us can be they. We don't know. Our future generations could be them. Reincarnated.
We don't know. Yeah. But I'm like, how is that even possible? That's where I'm probably get mind blown. If it is us, how is this happening? I mean, I guess
because our DNA holds the memories forever.
The energy created today creates the future, I guess. You know.
Because our DNA holds the frequency forever. Our DNA holds the information from past, present, and future. We're a quantum computer. So wherever we've been, wherever our offspring have been, whether we've had them or not, it's in us already, period. That's crazy,
True,
right?
True. No, you know, that's funny. I have a book that speaks about that very thing that you just mentioned. It's called Remembering Osiris. And the word remember, right? We think it means like memory, but really it's the reattaching of the DNA, because Osiris is, you know, the father of man. So, yeah, there's a book. One of my friends who holds tours to Egypt, he also wrote that book. It's a real good book because it goes into the cosmology and, you know, just the whole background of that type of stuff.
Right. Do you remember that movie, Lucy, where when she turned into that quantum computer and she went all the way back in time to, like, you know, prehistoric era, and she saw the future. She could hear and pick up on everything that was going through, like the air from, you know, cell phones and things like that. That's exactly what's happening. And so in her DNA, when it got activated, I don't know if you saw that movie, but when her DNA got activated through this like weird, you know, synthetic drug or something, she began to evolve really quick until she became like this dark energy that then turned into this quantum computer. And then her consciousness went way back into, you know, pre-man. And that's the DNA. That's the DNA. It's everywhere and all, because time doesn't exist because it's based on the sun. And if we're not in this solar system, then what is time? You know, so it's if you have cosmic DNA, then all the answers are there. The past, present, future, and all of that is in there. And if they have the technology to take apart that DNA, like in the Osiris book you're talking about, they can also remember it back together, which means they can tell the future and see the past and the present at the same time.
Watch out now.
So based on being able to do that, you can manipulate things, because if you're observing something, then it's never the same. So once you start observing that, there's different realities created. There then comes the multiverse, you know. So I don't know. Like I'm just here experiencing it, and I'm happy somebody doesn't think I'm crazy.
You're not crazy. No, you're not crazy. I think you just embody a lot of creative energy that if people aren't listening, they're going to get confused. They're going to think you're crazy, but really they're just not on the wavelength. They're not on the same path. So now they're going to be like, well, why are they, over there doing that? It just doesn't make any sense. Appetite for chick Saturn energy is definitely independent. I hate working for corporate jobs as Aquarius. See, you're an Aquarius. You should be the one creating new ideas. That's what Aquarius do. You were singing Bobby Brown. You remember when Bobby Brown was out at that time? He had a whole new style. Nobody dressed like him. Nobody danced like him. Nobody had the slow haircut. He had all of that. That's Aquarius. You guys have to start learning these people who are Aquarius and then start to manifest like energy. Let's do that. Shera is the epitome of, well, I think your star sign is Saturn is what I said. She's mastered Saturn. So if you don't like working in corporate America, listen to what she's saying. She doesn't work in corporate America. She's mastered it. Now, if she was under Saturn, you would be at a desk, typing in a cubicle, mad at the world, depressed, I ain't got no money. All that. She's mastered
I'll probably be a criminal before I do that. Sorry, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, locked up or Saturn. You be locked up then, like Akon or something. But yeah, she's mastered that. So, she works with corporations, but the corporations, she's not working under them. See, that's the key. So, hey, y'all gotta level up. Get with these energies. But that's the when people like to say you crazy and stuff like that, that's just they're not relating to the energy that's there. And that's why I said earlier, if people can start to understand, I don't care if it's astrology, I don't care if it's through decoding or anything, you have to understand the energy. Then when you start to see someone or listen to them, it's not going to sound like it's foreign. It will be like, oh, they're on that wavelength. How does that relate back to me? And then, we can talk on the same page and everything starts to make sense. Mm-hmm. If you're not there and you say people are crazy, you're missing something somewhere. Now, yeah, some people are scammers and stuff like that, but I'm talking about you're going to be able to see that, very easily. But if that's your first reaction to someone, you need to check yourself first and then come back and say, okay, well, does this make sense? Is this lining up with what I know? And if it is, you're going to see some synchronicities. That's all I'm saying.
Right. When you were talking about the solar flares and stuff, like something weird, last night there was like an owl in my backyard just going at it for hours, like, whoo, whoo, whoo. Like, I'm like, I thought, okay, so I had on like this sleep thing where you go to sleep and it like plays rain and stuff. I thought that was part of that sleep, song. And so I turned it off and it's still going. I'm like, what the heck? What's an owl doing? I don't even have a tree in my backyard. Where is he at? Where is the owl? Is it on my house? Is it on my fence? There's no trees in my backyard because it's a new construction and they didn't put trees in the backyard. But it's like, where's this owl at?
Well, the owl is symbolic for higher knowledge. They're the wisest. Of occult knowledge, hidden knowledge. That's why you see it on the $1 bill. A lot of people don't know it's there.
All I remember,
$1 bill, over by the top right-hand corner of the $1 bill, you'll see a little owl up there. You might need a magnifying glass to see it, but
I don't have any cash.
I don't have any $1 bills, but I know it's there.
Strippers, get your cash out and look.
Big bills only.
So no, all I remember is that movie. I don't know if you saw the movie, but The Fourth Kind. All I remember is I didn't want to look out of my window and see no owl sitting there, so I didn't look at my window. I just turned over and went to sleep. Like, you ain't getting me.
Wait, what happened? What happened in
There's a movie called The Fourth Kind, and it's about alien abduction, and it deals with like
Oh wow.
hypnosis, the fourth dimension. Um, I think it was all coded, but anyway, you'd have to watch it. But this man thought he was seeing an owl, but it was really an alien type being that looked like this coming out of a fourth dimensional square in the ceiling or something. And they like tricked his mind to think that he was seeing an owl because they had the same big eyes. And so I'm like, I ain't finna look out that window. If aliens want to come, they need to come the same way they came last time. Don't try to come through no owl. And this is like the thoughts in my head, and I laugh at myself and just go to sleep. Like, I'm not finna look out the window though. Good night. Good night, owl. Good night, moon. Good night, stars. you know that book?
Yeah.
So I'm like, good night. I'm not even worried about it. Like, whatever. This is
I'm looking forward to reading that book too that you just held up. I got the Murder of Reality, and I got that book too, but I haven't started it yet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's good. I like it because there's lots of charts and graphs and pictures in it, and it's like, I think it's the prequel to the other book, so it kind of like gives you you probably understand that other book better if you had read that first, and I should have read that one first too. But I like it so far.
Yeah.
It's easier to understand to me.
Yeah, I think he autographs all his books, by the way.
That's nice. I like when people do that.
I think he does.
So you want to take a question? Maybe somebody has a question. Do y'all have a question for Cryptonomics? Who's on the line? Anybody got a question? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Now's the time to ask. They're trying to think of a question.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. We're just talking. I think we've answered all the questions before they asked it.
Mm-hmm. Why? Okay, here we go. Here's one question. Maybe you can help answer this one. Why did the media tell us about Kanye leaving his shoes at marital home, and Dr. Dre's ex complained about a woman wearing her Chanel shoes that they were left at her home? Because it's code.
That's your question. Yeah, that's
Remember, I was talking about that, and I was trying to tell, because it had to do with the stock market and stuff, and I was trying to tell you about some decoding about some shoes, and this was going to happen because we were decoding the names of the stocks, and I told you about the Chanel shoes. You probably don't remember, but the Chanel the shoes represent like, depending on the name brand of the shoes, this is why the brand was, and then at the home, the shoes in the home, it's coded about things, people trading places. It's code about power shifting, and so people will have to like pay close attention. It's about like the ex-wife or the person that left or crossed over has left their shoes for someone else to fill. And that's what's happening. So the X is the cross. When you cross over to the other side, when you cross the ionosphere, when you are out and you can't take anything with you. So your shoes are left behind to fill, and someone comes and fills them. And even though you're not there anymore, you're mad because someone's in your place. And you have to watch that. It's kind of funny if you think about it.
And a lot of what you just said, it's almost like a changing of the guard, right? You said changing or power being transferred, right? A lot of that is like the energy that's going on right now. And a lot of those things that I read regarding Pluto and Capricorn. Now, granted, I'm just using Pluto and Capricorn. There's other planets that we can also drive off of. but because Pluto moves so slow, right? That energy is going to be with us longer. It's going to be the flavor longer, and it has to deal also with the changing of the guard or transferring of energy. A lot of people don't realize, but before coronavirus hit, there were record number of CEOs that quit the corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Corporations, see, it's Saturn. CEOs is Saturn. They're the authority. They're the heads. They're the ones in charge, and they left. Even the royal family went through a little. I think they stepped down. What was it, Harry and Meghan? They left. Like, who does that? If you're royalty, why are you leaving the royal family? They stepped down. People were calling for the police to be defunded, to go away. They're the authority figures as well. So this energy, you keep seeing it over and over and over again, just like a wave.
Right. And like, you can also take this back to biblical, like when there was that wall of Jericho and the soldiers would march around it for like 7 days straight. And then at the last day, they would like blow that trumpet or whatever, and it would fall. Trump, wall, circle, So like a lot
I like that.
Right. A lot of stuff that will add up, and that's why they use certain words, symbolisms, and like things, like situations, to help you relate it back to what's actually happening. And so that's why I'm like, okay, well, I see a lot of patterns and a lot of, things that relate to different stories, like ancient stories, and I see it happening.
Let me ask you a question. Because you talk about the Book of Enoch a lot. I haven't finished reading it yet, and the Bible. Let's throw both of those in at the same time. Would you say that the code in these books? Well, yeah, you've already answered it. It translates to today, things going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But would this, do you think, apply endlessly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Just like if you look in a microscope versus a telescope, you may see something similar. Like a brain neuron versus a nebula. Blah, 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 blah. It's all this. It's like a mirror of itself, replicated over and over and over in different ways.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So you can predict certain things, or you can correlate certain things with this. And I think that's how they came up with the code.
Would you think, though, that we're like, we're talking about the Book of Enoch, and you're talking about the Bible, then we talk about astrology, and we talk about decode. There seem to be a lot of different sources for understanding what's going on, but it's in code, or it's symbolic. I guess that's just why people should read more, and start to look at things. The decoding piece, like I said, you're good at that. You're naturally good at that. So, I'm listening to you like, man, how'd she get that? And then, I've run it back through the astrology. I'm just like, wow, there's something here, But I think the more people read, the more they can start to understand some of these things. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Like, there's audiobooks now. There's free stuff on YouTube. People reading other people's books. I think if you don't want to read something, find the audiobook, because it's out there. It could be done in 1 hour. Period. It's on YouTube. The Book of Enoch is on YouTube for free. Like, if anyone wants to read it.
I can have a book in my hand. Yeah.
You can read along with it, like we did in the second grade, the read along with the little tape going. Open your books to page 4. You can read along.
Yeah. Were there any other questions? Somebody says, "What's a good book to learn decoding?"
I would say, like any spiritual. I mean, any book on symbols is where you need to start, because they're like and work your way up. Do the symbols. You need to get the background stories, like biblical stories, Sumerian stories, Egyptian stories. You got to know all those because they're all basically the same except with different characters. Then after you do that, you need to understand how electricity works, the electromagnetic spectrum works. Okay, you need to know that first. You get those online. Just Google that, and a picture will pop up, or you can go find a video on it, a 5-minute video on it. So you got to understand that, and then you have to understand that language is written to mean more than one. A word means more than one thing. One word can mean 15 things. So you got to understand that and start looking up the etymology and the definition of words. And that's where you can kind of start to see everything for what it really is. Then when you get to that level, then you go and get holographic culture, emerald tablets, the murder of reality, but also study hermetics. It's just an ongoing thing that you have to do forever. But symbols is number one. What are you saying? Forbidden Knowledge TV helps too. Yeah, I link that in the description bar. It's just a bunch of videos that's just going to unload all this information, so you don't have to go and search for it. And it's like a 3-day free trial if you want to binge watch as much as you can, or you can subscribe for like $7.70 77 cents a month, 777 basically a month. And my link is down there. So, but it's a quick way to just get the background information, but still, if you study it, it's going to sink in, and you'll see it. It's natural, but you can't take shortcuts.
Somebody said, who did Shera learn from?
I learned from myself. Shoot.
Exactly. That's what we've been saying. A lot of times
y'all don't see all these bookshelves over here. Y'all just see this little fake background. I got bookshelves, books stacked up here. I got like
right.
Y'all don't see this.
I got books all on the floor over here and on the table. Crazy bookshelf. A lot of this stuff though. I mean, even though people got to understand, even though the books are there, sometimes a lot of times I just get the books to link what I already have, what I already know inside of me, so that it can build a system or can make sense for bigger means. It's one thing to just say, well, I know this little bitty thing. Okay. But when you start reading, you're going to be able to see things and take that one little thing, and it might merge with something else, another idea. And then that other idea links with another one, and soon you start to develop this body of knowledge of like, wait, this is bigger.
It all connects.
And the books just become confirmation. So that's why you start reading more and more and more. And some of them, hey, you're just going to toss them to the side, like, hey, I don't know what they're talking about. Other ones, though, are going to really resonate and, catch your attention and develop what you already have put together. And that's what they're for.
You're saying the same thing about past, present, and future, but you're saying the same thing about knowledge that's already within you, in your DNA.
And there is, and I think that's something people have to tap. You have to just tap into it, and then you can start to say with the books, hey, this makes sense. This resonates with me. I can build off of this, and that's what develops systems. That's what develops knowledge and sharing of ideas and whatnot. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has to teach you. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. There could be teachers to do certain things, but ultimately you have to develop your own way, your own path for developing the knowledge and how you see things, and in that way you can start to share that with other people in different ways and learn different things as well, and
Right.
you can see the correlations and the synchronicity.
Right. Like,
even though you do what you do, I do what I do, it still makes sense. It still makes sense.
mm-hmm. Like the random books that I ordered online. I ordered a stack of blue books from Poshmark, and they didn't give the titles of the book. They just said stack of vintage blue books for decor. I'm like, okay, let me see what these vintage books are, because I know you like vintage books. So I like old books too. So I just purchased them. They were being sold as decor. And when I don't know if you saw the first part of the video, but when I got the books, all the titles were code.
Yeah, I saw them. I was saying, smell the pages.
Mm-hmm.
I always do that when I get I smell the pages. I'm like, what does it smell like?
Sprinkle.
Just to get an idea. And then, but yeah, they're. It's hard to find old books like that too. I'm amazed that you were sent those.
I know. I was like, whoop, this is interesting. So Tawana is asking. Right. Tawana is asking, why are turtles showing up everywhere? I can answer that. What is a turtle? Like, this is the symbolism behind a turtle. What is a turtle? They can swim. They can walk on land. There's sea turtles, land turtles. They lay their eggs on the beach. They go back in. Their stuff glows, bioluminescence, sometimes. Or it's also, they hide inside of a shell. They're protected by a shell. It's hard for predators to eat them. They live a long time. They're an ancient old species. Just break down the turtle and see where there are similarities within people. There you go. And that's what the turtle is. I've seen turtles on all these commercials too. Like, okay, so if y'all don't have any more questions, you have to go. I know you got to go because I got to go soon too.
Oh yeah, it's good night. But yeah, let me answer this one last question. Someone said, "What's the best crypto app?" and something else earlier, but I don't use apps. I don't suggest anybody put crypto on real crypto on a phone. You can buy it through Cash App. I don't know if they allow you to send it off of Cash App. At least in the old days of crypto, we didn't put it on apps. These days, it may be okay because we have better encryption and security. But I personally don't use the apps. I would just say, put it in a hot wallet with a good password, or put it on a cold storage wallet. And there it's protected because it's not connected to the internet. So anything connected to the internet, you never know. Someone could try and hack you and take your crypto, right? But there are better encryption methods these days, but nothing is 100%.
Right. Yep. And like right now, like we're in a turbulent time where we're on our own. So you got to trust that intuition. You got to read the signs. That's awesome.
Yeah, and this is disruptive. Crypto can be a little bit funny because I remember during the snowstorm, when the power goes out, what are you going to do with the crypto? You can't do anything with it because you don't have any power. So have backups, have generators, or have something so that you're not just stuck in the dark. That's another reason to kind of have backups.
I was in the darkness.
Worry.
But if I wanted to see the light, I just come up here and look behind me. No, I had flashlights and candles, but yeah, I understand. Gotta have that generator.
Yeah, you gotta have some means. I mean, even if it's just candles or something, just don't be unprepared for anything that goes on. during these times because it is going to be the age of unpredictability and disruption. It's going to be there. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. So
some things won't even look real when they really are real. Neptune is still in Pisces. That's its home base. So a lot of the stuff, a lot of people are going to say, people like me and you would be crazy anyway, or people with occult knowledge would be crazy, but that's lack of insight. So
yeah, like when you were saying stuff's not going to look real, I'm looking out of my window and these clouds are like right up on my window. Like I'm not in the sky. These clouds are too close to my house. Like I'm not in the sky. I feel like I'm in a plane right now. That's how low these clouds are. Crazy. It doesn't look real.
CC says, I drain watch batteries and disrupt electronics. What could that be? I mean, you might be well, you could say you're Aquarius, or you could just be someone who absorbs energy too,
Or you could be RH negative blood type.
Mm-hmm.
Get your blood type checked. See if you're RH negative.
Is that what happens for?
Yeah, especially if you're around other RH negative people. Like if someone visits me and they are also RH negative, stuff would not work because it's too much of the same, like too much energy, electromagnetic energies. Like printers will just start going off by themselves, or batteries will stop working, or phones will get drained super fast, or stuff will just stop working right. That's what happens. But you probably are RH negative. Let's see.
Oh yeah, you said something about that before. Yeah, could also mean that they're a Taurus or a Scorpio too. Those are square Aquarius energies.
Yeah,
that's just what I think about when say batteries and stuff like that. I mean, it could even be Leo energy too.
Really?
But that would still be Taurus, Scorpio. I don't know what they are.
But no, literally, like I can't wear a watch for more than one day, because even if I put a brand new battery in it, if I wear it for 24 hours, it's drained. So I have to wear it for a little bit and then take it off.
I'm wondering if I'm like that. Well, I ended up finally getting a watch that was solar charged, so it never died.
Well, that's what I need.
That's why I never got watches before, because they would always die, and I'm like, this is stupid. What's the point in having a watch? But
right.
Yeah, I have one that's solar charged now.
But I think also some watches work off that crystal energy as well, so it could have something to do with that too. That quartz energy. Okay, so do y'all have any other questions? Because I'm getting ready to wrap this up in the next few minutes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just sign off. I'll let you wrap up.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Like, I know everybody wanted to hear from you again, so thank you. That was a surprise for you to want to call in, or me to call you. Actually, what had to happen, because stuff wasn't working right, like you predicted.
I just got the voicemail. But yeah, we'll have to do it again. And everybody take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right,
bye. Okay. All right, y'all. I got a few minutes left and I'm getting ready to go. When is the next major change going to happen? I think major changes happen on a daily basis, depending on where you are in the world. So, I mean, I would definitely keep up with the solar flares and just the equinoxes, the full moons, and all those type of things, because usually that's when stuff starts changing, like whenever there's cosmic change. It's like a domino effect. Cosmic change equals changes on Earth, equals changes, in economy, health, people. There's like a just keep track of the cosmic changes, and then you could probably see other things coming. Okay. And I have a song for that too. Put your eye to the sky, that's where you'll find me. That's Neo. Keep looking up. All right. My birthday is next week, which is wonderful. Yay. Yes, I'm Pisces. My birthday is March 11th. And I'm going to be old. Any other March birthdays here? Happy birthday. You said Rick Ross in that song? Yeah, he said he gonna buy his girl every bag and she don't have to take them back. Anyway. What am I doing for my birthday? Well, I don't know yet. I might be in Austin. I might be doing some things. Who knows? We'll see. All right, y'all. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But officially it's not till the 11th. That video was funny too. The super high video with Rick Ross and Neo, y'all. It's very coded. Is it true that half of Texas is already vaccinated? I don't know. I don't know any people that. I really don't know too many people, so I don't know. I don't know if they are or not. I didn't ask, but I think people can lie to you and tell you that something is something, but it may not be true. Because like how are you going to fact check that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, just because it's said on the news doesn't mean it's true. So if they say this and that, it doesn't mean that you can go prove it. So I really would feel like, okay, so maybe they're saying that so people can feel comfortable with doing certain things, and then it becomes a reality. I don't know. All right, I'm going to see y'all later. Thank y'all so much for donating, everybody who donated and asking good questions. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Oh, and if y'all are wondering about the workshop, how to raise money for your business, and it's also going to talk on how to network with like millionaires and people that have money to give you, or how to get money for your business. That link is in the description bar below. I will also put it again in the permanent comments, so that when you click on the video, you'll see it as a pinned comment at the top as well. So all the books that I mentioned in the video are also in the description bar with the titles, the authors, and some of them have links if you want to go get them. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.